Welcome back to another episode of How Do Artists Make Money? The show where we try to answer the age-old question, how do artists make money? Today I'm joined by miniaturist Caroline McFarlane-Watts, who has taken her passion for sculpting and turned it into developing her own IP, which has led to mass-producing collectible sculptures, which instantly sell out and are available in stores all across the globe. Impressive stuff. Let's get into the conversation. Caroline, thanks for joining me today. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the basics. How would you describe yourself professionally?
Well, so I'm an artist and I'm creative director of a small company I created called Tall Tales Productions. And what we do is we do miniatures, maquettes, and figurines for the entertainment industry. And I also have the workshop side of the business creates high-end collectible figurines for the collector's market. So hand-painted resin figurines.
I know so little about the physical art world because my world is video. So everything is digital. So I'm curious, what's at the center of your production company? Is it the services? Is it the IP? Is it producing product for sale?
It's kind of a bit half and half. I would say probably at the moment 40% service. So I'll get a commission to make a figurine, like a maquette for someone. It could be for publishing, could be for a music video, could be for film. So I'll make like a maquette, or miniatures or a miniature scale set for someone. And so that would be services. So then the rest of the business these are mass produced resin figurines, and they're produced in-house. We do domestic production and also overseas. So I have things mass produced in China and imported, and my collectible figurines are sold in 50 countries.
I've had some exposure, having worked on stop motion feature films, to the maquette world. And I always loved walking past the sculpting area and just seeing them working on the maquettes. They're amazing.
Yeah, it's super fun. I think that there's something about us as children that never goes away, where we're still really intrigued by, the physical, anything like that, miniature figurines and puppets. It's still got that exciting appeal.
The part of it where you have them mass produced, is that part of your IP, the Good Witches, Bad Witches?
Yes, exactly. So that's exactly what it is. Rather than license other people's IP, like most figurine companies would do, they'll license like Batman or, known IP. Mine is all my own unique IP, which is Good Witches, Bad Witches, which is based on a children's book, a series of children's books I wrote and a film that's going to happen. So I make figurines and characters from that.
What was the journey like from, because it started as illustration, right? And
in books, yeah.
Was that a very organic process, going from the idea to the books to the sculptures to mass producing? I'm guessing it's been a number of years just kind of finding your way to it.
It has been a number of years. So I started writing back in England when I was in my early 20s. I made the move over to LA, where I live now, and I started pitching my ideas, my scripts, and I actually started creating figurines to accompany the pitch. Because, for example, a lot of the commissions I get now is someone will ask me to make a maquette, a figurine to accompany a pitch deck. So I started physically creating some of my stuff to aid, trying to sell my projects. And then that ended up taking on a life of its own. And also I made friends with this wonderful guy who has a company that does collectible figurines, and he put me in touch with his factory in China, and I just started creating runs that way.
Yeah, I love those organic stories of how, because it seems so obvious, just create an IP and then start mass producing them. But you have to find your way there. It's not as obvious when you're taking the path.
No, my path is like...
It always is. So I'm curious, how, with all this going on, do you have a team or is it only you?
So for the mass production of figurines, so somebody does my casting. So that means they take a mold, and they make molds, and then they'll produce however many units I need of a run. So it might be 100 of the exact same thing. So they'll create that in resin for me. And then it'll either get sent directly to a painter or to me, and then it'll get delegated, I have two different painters who paint my collectible figurines for the domestic production. And then I have somebody else do dispatch. But for the figurines which are produced in China, that's a whole team of really talented people in a factory who do that. So I'm hands off. It's great.
Was there a point at which you did everything and then you slowly started evaluating what was worth your time? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Was it those moments where like, I need to hire someone? Is it just when you're, burning the candle on both ends and you basically can't physically do it anymore? There's too much to handle?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I always burn the candle on both ends. I still do. I mean, I live to work. It's all I want to do. But I think when I started doing runs, I would do like my first collectible figurine run. I painted them all, and it was a small run. It was like 25 or 50, and I sat there and painted them all till my arm was dropping off. And they sold so fast. In fact, I think they sold out in under an hour. And with people saying, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to get one," so I thought, "Gosh, I have to make more. I can't do all this." And it occurred to me, someone said you could hire someone to do your painting, and I thought, can I though? Because I'm the artist. If someone else paints the figurines, then is that cheating? I mean, is it still my artwork? But that's how I felt at the beginning. But yeah, no, it's great to have other people match my paint job.
When you went to LA and you're saying you were going to studios, pitching your ideas, to now taking on, commissions and doing maquettes for the film world, how much of that is meeting the right people, being in the right place, right? Like building that network of connections? It's
a fantastic question. I think even though there is a large film industry in London, I had to be in LA. I feel like since I came here, networking and making the connections this is where you can do that. And yes, it is really dependent on meeting people. And last 2 weekends ago was Lightbox Convention. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's an animation convention. I went to that, and just for networking purposes, as I always do, go to these trade shows, and I got two jobs out of it. So it's amazing. You meet people on there. It's like, oh, I'm looking for someone who does that, and they've some of them have heard of me, and some of them haven't heard of me yet. So it's like networking is incredibly important and so easy to do in LA.
Do you do a lot of trade shows, or do you just go solely to walk around and network? Or do you have booths at shows?
I do sometimes. It's really exhausting though. So, I mean, I don't love doing it. I love meeting the people who like to see what I do. I love that aspect of meeting people. That's so much fun. But setting up the booths and being on your feet for 3 days without sitting down, and it's exhausting, but I do it. Sometimes it's good to do.
I'm curious about the commission side of what you're doing, because that's kind of more like the traditional art collection world. So how did you get into that, and how do you keep that going? Do you have to like put attention to advertising in that world, or is it all kind of word of mouth?
Again, that's it's more like word of mouth. I have my website, I have my social media presence, and like I said, if I go to trade shows, I meet people who's like, oh, I need someone to do what you do. And I'll get commissions that way. But I love doing the commissions. I like it more than doing the mass production figurines, because it's when I get to feel like I'm being a hands-on artist.
I'm guessing they give you a loose idea of what they want, and then do you have to like pitch ideas, or do they just trust you to deliver something and here it is?
If it's a commission, it's not pitching. They'll come to me and say, we need this for XYZ. Yeah, a commission, they have a very good idea of what they want, and then I'm matching their artwork and doing what they want, and hoping they don't ask for too many changes.
And then is that the same process when someone who just wants to commission a sculpture, not for pitching a movie, not for the entertainment industry, just as a piece of art, are they presenting their idea or sketches or anything, or are they just asking you to make something?
So when it's a private person like that, that's something I do a lot less, because to do a piece of artwork, a figurine for someone, most people wouldn't want to pay to do that, because I charge like 5 up to 10,000. or it could be as low as 2, but still it's an expensive thing to ask me to do. It's because of the time involved. So I don't get that as much. Well, I do. I get asked to do that, but I don't do that as much. And in those situations, they're leaving it to me. They want my art. So they won't say, can you make it look like this? They'll say, can you create me something of yours?
I'm curious about the kind of like promotional side of things. You mentioned how social media obviously plays a role in the publicity of what you're doing. So I'm curious how you treat social media. Is it basically just, do you think of it as advertising?
Yes, I kind of feel like it's being part of a community of people who love to see this kind of thing, people who love miniatures and puppets and maquettes. So it's a lot of arty people and a lot of collectors. And when I put out social media content, it's like just sharing that with a community of people who love it as well. And yes, it's advertising. And
do you feel like it's a burden, like you have to now make content of the thing, or do you get excited about filming videos of the sculptures and posting them?
I like it because so if I'm already, I have to make something anyway, then it's not that much effort to quickly set up a camera. Sometimes I just use my phone on a stand and I just set up a camera and just capture parts of me making it. And then after I've done the commission, sent it off on its way. If I'm allowed to right away, I'll go ahead and edit together a video and post it. Sometimes I'm not allowed to share the projects if it's, secret. But yeah, no, I actually quite like putting out reels and videos.
I've said that to so many artists, just film what you're doing.
Yeah.
And get as detailed as you can. Like, it's so fascinating to see people, the more detail and niche, I think the better. So I would suggest artists just film everything and share it. So yeah, for my world, making videos, like I'm thinking of views and clicks and follows and stuff. Does that even cross your mind? Or are you just thinking, I love the miniature community and I love sharing this. Who cares? Once I post it, who cares what happens?
Kind of the latter, but obviously I do have an ego as well. So, I mean, so it is mostly the latter. Like, I want to share it because I want to. And if people like it, great. And if they, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, if something gets shared a lot and a lot of likes, it makes me really happy. I love that. I mean, because it's like, well, it's just that feeling of, they liked this thing I created.
I'm curious with the Good Witches, Bad Witches, how often do you release a new sculpture in that series?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So it used to be that I would aim to do 3 to 4 new pieces a year because they do take time. But I'm a little bit, for the past 18 months, I am off track with that. I'm delayed because I've taken on a lot more private commissions and service commissions. So I'm a little bit behind. So I need to catch up on that. But theoretically, 3 to 4 new characters a year.
I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but how do you juggle? Because I'm guessing you could just put out a whole bunch and make a lot of money. But there's that side where you want to respect the IP and the collectors and put a good amount of work into everything. So how do you think about that?
Well, I would love to just put out loads of my stuff, because I have so many ideas and so much I want to create and all these characters and I just want to keep working. But there are restraints. For example, the people who do casting, it takes them time. You might give someone a piece and they'll give it back to you in 6 months or 3 months. And painters need time. And then a run in the factory in China, forget about it. That's like 9 months. So you can't just, put things out at the speed you'd love to. And also, you have to put money up front to every time I do a run, it costs me thousands up front. And then you get that money back when they sell. So that paces me as well.
I like that built-in scarcity to it where you only have so much time, so you can only dedicate so much to thinking of an idea and sculpting it, and then every step of the way there's time limitations and materials and everything. So I think that adds value to the collection, is that when you release something, it's been allowed the right amount of time to kind of to simmer and be put together.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's not actually by design. I'm not trying to hold back to create the suspense or anything, but I think it just happens that way, like you said, because it takes ages to get things made.
So with that collection, I'm sure there are people who collect every piece in the series. So from a business standpoint, do you have like a mailing list or a way to contact the people who are really into that collection?
So through my website, I have a contact form, and I've got loads of email addresses of people there who like to collect my work. And then I just put out a newsletter here and there, in case then some people aren't on social media, so they'll get the email newsletter that a new piece is coming soon.
From everyone I've spoken to, there's a lot of push to do newsletters, even just send an update every few months as to what you're doing. It seems to be the most direct way to communicate with an audience these days, because everyone's so spread out around platforms and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. It makes sense, but I'm awful at it. Like I need to get better at putting out a regular newsletter. But it goes to the back of my to-do list too much, and then I'll realize, it's been 6 months and I have not sent out a newsletter. Whoops.
I'm curious, with taking this really organic path from IP and getting into the film industry, what's the biggest mistake you've made, or wrong turn, or dead end that you've hit that you would have done differently?
Excellent question. And I wish I'd prepared a proper answer to this, but I've actually struggled to think of a specific. I probably make mistakes left, right, and center the whole way. I'm trying to think of a specific one to share, but I would say overall, in the past, I would say that taking too long to bite the bullet and do something was a mistake. And now I'm more like, just do it, just get it done. Even if you can only put 85%, just get it done. It's better that than waiting for the exact perfect timing and it never happening. But I know that's not a very satisfying answer, is it?
That is. That's really good advice. Is there something that you sat on for too long then to follow up on that? Oh,
yeah. Tons. And still am. I'm behind. I'm so behind in so many things. And for example, I announced there was going to be a book, and I started creating that book. I announced it 10 years ago, 2015. And that's awful. Yeah, it's awful. It's a book about the art of the figurines, and it's got all the behind the pictures of how I created the characters, the early sketches, the drawings, the background on the characters, and then how I made them, how I sculpted them. And I put together that book. I mean, it's 90% done. And then I just got so distracted with so many other things, and I just left it. But then it seems like every week someone clicks that button on my website that says notify me when this book's available. And I think, shoot, I really need to do that.
So do you work on film productions? Are you called in to have you ever done like a cast of characters for an entire movie?
Ooh, for an entire movie? No, not for an entire movie. I've got wonderful, talented friends who've done that. Like I'm friends with Carlos Grangel, who did all the characters for Corpse Bride, for example. I haven't done anything that big, but I've done a character, a maquette for something, and sets and pieces. And
you've done sculpts of existing characters for movies. I saw the queen, the Yeti Queen from Missing Link.
Yeah,
which I'd never had the opportunity to animate that puppet. I was doing other characters. But is that just a passion project, or is that in any way related to the studio?
It's not related to the studio, although the studios are where I did it. We've talked about it, and they've interviewed me about it and stuff. But no, the reason that was for teaching purposes, because I forgot to mention another source of revenue for me is sometimes teaching. And when I do sculpting demos or teaching things, I'll often pick an existing IP that people are already familiar with. And so I can't release it as a run because I'm not licensing it, but to use it for the purpose of teaching a character. So I did like that main Viking guy, Stoic from DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon. I'll do things like that for fun for teaching.
I'm guessing that's just ease of use from having so much reference of a character, right? Versus if you were to develop your own character, you'd have to do the designs and the turnarounds and all that stuff versus just grabbing a bunch of...
It's also protecting my own IP. So for example, if I teach a class of people how to make an existing character that they're familiar with, I know they're all happy, but if I were to teach one of my characters, that makes me uncomfortable because then everyone's going off and making my character, and it's like I'm trying to protect the copyright of my own IP, because I've had that happen where it's funnily enough, there was a woman who was teaching classes out of a sculpting school, and she was teaching all these students how to make my characters without getting permission or licensing. And, I shut it down, but there were, all these people recreating my characters, and they were all being put, and, that's not what I want right now.
That's wild. Yeah, from my mind, I was just thinking of creating IP. I've never thought of the protecting the IP. So that's really smart not to not to teach people how to create your characters.
Well, yeah, it just makes me a bit nervous.
Is that the only instance where you've had to shut down?
Heck no.
So there's way. More. Okay.
Oh, so many. So there is. Oh, this is funny. So a fan contacted me to say she saw my booth at this trade show in Spain, and I wasn't at any trade show in Spain. And then a different fan of mine took photos of of the booth because they knew it wasn't me, and so they contacted me, and it had my name, Caroline McFarlane-Watts, and it said Tall Tales Productions, and it had all my characters that someone else had copied and was selling. So that happened. But I mean, I've probably sent cease and desist thing that probably like maybe 10 or 15 different people in different parts of the world who, it's crazy how much it happens.
They had resculpted, or they had bought yours?
Resculpted.
That level of deception.
Funny.
Is insane. And then to put your name on the booth.
Yeah. And I don't feel like she was malicious. I think she just didn't really understand. I think she just didn't understand that it's almost like if somebody wanted to create a whole bunch of Disney characters and they wrote Disney over it and they're like, come and buy my Disney stuff. I feel like she didn't mean to harm me or anything. It was just, I like this girl's characters, so I'll remake them and put the name there. But of course that, I didn't like it. Well, it was flattering though. Yeah,
there is that intention to it. I have my videos stolen constantly.
Oh, really?
And I usually look at what the situation is. And it was like a week ago, someone took a bunch of my videos and just strung them together and put them on YouTube. And it had millions of views, so they're clearly making money off of it. And
damn.
The top comment was them ranting about how they had the right to take my video. So instantly I was like, okay, they are malicious. They know what's going on. So I was like, the intention's clear, and I sent the copyright strike immediately.
Well
took
done.
them down.
Well done. Yeah, no, that's hurting you and that's affecting you and they're profiting from it. That's malicious. I agree. I'm glad you shut that down.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to justify having a booth using your name. I get that it could be kind-hearted, but that's a step too far in my opinion.
I don't know that it was kind-hearted so much as I felt like she was just naive. Because when I actually wrote to her, she was like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of yours," and I was like, "Thanks, but can you not do that?"
So when you go to Disney World, they have a shop where you can buy maquettes of all the characters.
Yeah.
Have you ever been involved in that? That's product world with films?
Funnily enough, the same factory that they use for their Disneyana store for those figurines, it's the exact same factory I use in China. And yeah, isn't that funny? So, and I have been approached by people asking me if I want to do a rendition of a Disney figurine as the collectible and put out a run. And I've been offered it. But the thing is, it's not really worth it for me in a way, because once you cover the licensing and then you front the money to the factory and you make the pieces and you import it and you do all that. Yes, you get some money back when they're making the sales, but it's an incredible amount of effort and time to go into something that is not actually serving me. It's not pushing my IP forward. It's just reinforcing their brand. And why would I want to put that much effort into reinforcing someone else's brand that already exists out there? And I'd make some money, but not worth it.
Yeah, it's almost short-sighted where you're making money, but then once you make the money, it's over. Versus, with every addition to your IP, you're building that brand and the value of it. I like to ask, what's kind of the shape of the financial roller coaster of your career? Have you had a lot of ups and downs, good years, bad years?
Oh, absolutely. It was like that at the beginning. Now it's slowly sort of it's getting better each year because, I sort of growing and putting out more product. My reputation's sort of growing and gradually getting more fans, more buyers. And so it's sort of steadily improving. But, at the beginning or back when I first came to LA, it was definitely a roller coaster till I figured it out.
Because I know so little about the physical art space, what was the first couple of jobs that you did when you got to LA?
Ooh, good question. Well, so I came to LA on a student visa. That was the way I gained entry to the country. So I was at UCLA focusing on studies. And then I gradually started trying to build a portfolio, pitch, and make my mark after, while struggling being a student. And those first jobs, different commissions like prop making, or I was asked to do, make props or aid in the building of miniature sets for a film. And, the early jobs looked a lot like that.
How did you find those first jobs? Were you just were you just making phone calls and emails to anyone?
Word of mouth, just word of mouth, just attending industry things, keeping my ears open, going to I do things like I'd go to the Magic Castle and then I'd say, I love all the props that you've got arranged, for this event or who makes those props? Do you need anyone else? I'll make props, and just talking to people and meeting people and getting jobs that way.
I get a lot of emails from young artists and students who are starting their careers and they're asking for advice. And yeah, you really have to be super proactive and contact as many people as possible and get in there.
Absolutely. I think, being really proactive and having a really good attitude, just always keeping that enthusiasm helps.
I'm curious, just to wrap things up, what is your biggest goal for the future and how are you getting there?
Biggest goal for the future? Well, I'm sort of growing and expanding what I'm already doing. And because we're wrapping it up, I will show you some figurines I didn't show before. Is that okay?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, so this is a collectible figurine from Good Witches, Bad Witches. This is a couch with Nico the skunk on it. It's a character. This I already showed you. This is a character. It's Archie, the English bulldog, on an armchair, right, with a toad. So these are just some of my collectible figurines. This is a toad. This went viral and I sold insane numbers of these pet toads on a leash. So my business, the direction is I'm going to continue growing Good Witches, Bad Witches and expanding it, but with the goal, eventually for there to be a film. The Good Witches, Bad Witches, for there to be a film. And so that is the main goal. So, and, apart from that, I brought other things, you see, doing these, this is a one-off commission. So you can see it's
Wow.
That's a one-off. So I still do the Tall Tales office services and doing these one-off commissions. And so I still love to do that, but just growing my business, expanding, getting my figurines into more shops. And ultimately the end goal is to have a film.
Well, I don't know how it isn't a film yet. It's so obvious and the design is so amazing. It should
Thank
be
you
a
so
film
much.
already.
Thanks, you're really
just
kind.
One more question, just because you mentioned it. You said the toad went viral and sold a lot.
Yeah.
Did you in any way anticipate that, or was that a surprise to you?
That was crazy. It was so funny. What was it, like 5 years ago or something? I made a pet toad, right? So, and this has been cast as a mold by my guy, and I punched out a load of toads and painted them, and they just sold like that. Then it picked up. I think it's because it was on social media. It picked up, and then Disney, ABC put out they talked about how viral my toads were, and then it got even bigger. So I employed people to paint them, but it was funny because they're $200 each, and I would list them on my website and they would sell before I'd even finish clicking confirm on the number of units. They would just sell like that. So that was really fun when that happened.
I think that speaks to you just never know. You just have to keep,
never know.
As an entrepreneurial artist, you just have to keep putting stuff out, and you just never know when that one thing is going to hit. It's the same effect with my videos. Caroline, thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. It's a real honor. I'm a big fan, and it's a real honor to meet you and be part of this. So thank you so much.
As always, thanks for tuning in. Wherever you're watching or listening, if you really want to help the show, please leave a rating. Let us know what you think. I'll see you in the next episode.